And none of the houses are staying together, so we're constantly watching our parents have boyfriends and girlfriends left and right. Our parents aren't together, but they just all they know is to be with someone else.
Multiple partners mean that you're not only able to be with yourself, but you're not able to be with nobody. I don't know, like we're trying to filter different social media platforms that post exactly the same thing. Like there is no PG-13 social media platform.
And when you just give them screens and you walk away from them because you don't want to be bothered by them. There's no governance on that device. There's no governance on TV, no governance on social media. And they slip it in all the cartoons that we're watching. TikTok say, do you want to view or skip?
That's sexual attraction or sexual tendency or just the hormone itself. Like, it doesn't take for you to see sexual things for that to be activated. You can see fights. You can see parental abuse. You don't have to be taught to know sexuality.
The only thing that is not sensitive to talk about these days is sex and sexuality. We no longer know how to introduce and teach this to our kids anymore. Like how are we to do that in the future of just now of having kids and 2025 and so forth?
Let's further away in history a little bit. When I think about how for a good smooth time period, I mean, when I was more prevalent around people, and that was when I was actually going to church, I could say. We had birds and the bees. Did they teach you that? Or whatever that was, I heard that term too many times. Bro, I heard that term so many times and I didn't know what it meant until, and it's crazy how I didn't know what it meant because it wasn't being taught to me.
Definitely gotta go back into history because parents were still iffy and sensitive on talking about it because I think that's something that they weren't talked about with. So to find the alleys on when they started to do such things and how they felt connections with people, like the things that they got into. It's all sensitive. So what changed in this world to where it's not sensitive at all anymore?
For one, I definitely say for too long this war has been too economically wounded. Now it's too greedy. Everybody has been pushing economics and getting back on their feet. And then I don't think people who live today or who are born in our time generation versus our parents and versus their parents is really understanding that the Great Depression was less than 100 years ago. Or just right on the cusp of 100 years ago. We really just went broke. And this country is, and even before then, this country newer than that. So it's we give it to for one, that's a whole gap of people not worrying about actual spirituality and actual advancement and ascension in that aspect. And enlightenment is that we've been worrying about survival. And nor are we worrying about the next generation, but we haven't worried about ourselves. We aren't practicing those self-exchanging energies properly. We're not even doing that correctly. So when I say we missed a gap, we're missing time. We missed 100 years, 100 plus. When just teaching ourselves and teaching our women, our women teaching our kids to naturally be in the space of a sexual presence, in a sexual
life. Nothing to do at the bottom but have sex.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing to people don't have nothing else to do.
When we put it to I don't know. Introducing to our kids, yes, it should be a more public application. I see a lot of more LGBTQ advocated publicly more than actual sexualization. As in the ideas.
The father and mother and the love of wanting to procreate and reproduce.
Exactly. And that's firmly expressed, heavily pushed, and I'm saying we definitely are missing something. We're missing the actual aspects that you need to procreate. We're missing what happens when you procreate. We're missing what happens when you feeling your first butterflies in your stomach over a girl.
No one feels safe enough to bring children into this world or to have many children in this world. It's more emphasized on the abortions and the Plan Bs and to get rid of them and to just the pleasure part
I think once you take away consequences, the world would definitely ramp it out of control. No accountability. No consequences. You got no accountability for those actions. But I say when we get back to the children, when we get back to actually introducing that to our kids, and I'm not even gonna say a safe way because we don't have to be safe about this. It should already be.
It's apparent.
It is apparent. Like, I created you. I want you to know how you became about and the things of that you on one day practice. And I'm like, I want you to know what happens in your anatomy.
And how you gonna feel?
And what's going on. So I'm like, but I mean, we should definitely be tiptoeing. We should not be trying to cover no kids' ears when it comes to this because we don't cover their eyes when we put the movies in front of them.
And it's becoming more blatant.
Very blatant. Very blatant. And yeah, half of the world, half of the world.
There's no comfortability in communication, so they're hiding and sneaking.
Like we say, we look at our women go out, clubs, nightlife, and come back in the morning to their kids trying to cover up and keep their ears and eyes closed about anything sexual in that aspect, saying that you shouldn't be learning that right now. But they're not learning from anywhere else but you, or their dads on the father's side. Like, you going out doing what you doing, you speaking how you speak, or you moving how you move. Your aura giving off what it's giving, but you talking about you shouldn't be in that type of.
Feel that.
You talking about we ass backwards.